YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Man, do I got a great article for you guys I want to share with you guys. Thank you for joining me on my housing pricing segment. Don't forget to join me every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Tijuana time for the show Trends in the Housing Market with open lines, people calling in. Anyways, U.S. Federal Reserve indicator shows Canadian real estate is way overpriced. Oh my God, the feds are actually weighing in on this now. Canadian real estate has another indicator showing prices may have detached from fundamentals. So basically, what they're saying is everyone's bought out. Basically, every Canadian proper is bought out. The Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, a.k.a. Dallas Fed, publishes a housing index that is little known outside the banking world, the Exuberance Indicator. The indicator is often used because the documentation is highly technical. Today I figured I would break it down in plain English for all you millennials looking to understand the market. This way you'll better understand what most people than the real estate industry. I don't think a lot of people in the real estate industry can even speak proper English, to be really frank with you. And I'm not bashing, I'm just telling you from my experience. Measuring exuberance. So basically, exuberance is a term that is used when people are buying into items or stuff just because everyone else is. So there's no reason to buy into the commodity. So people are buying into it because, hey, everyone's doing it. I want to do it too. And this is what's happening right now. So you got your Black Monday right there. Okay. And then if you get this should be 2009, 2008 right here. Let me check here. Yep. There you go. And then that's yesterday right there. So we are heading to the dot-com bubble territory with our housing crisis in Canada. And because it's the median housing crisis, this is not just Vancouver. If this was just Vancouver, this thing will be up here because this is taking everything, the whole country across the board and factoring in more inexpensive cities like Winnipeg and Prince Edward Island and stuff like that. They're factoring in all housing prices. Measuring exuberance in housing. In the past, it wasn't all important measuring exuberance in real estate because it never seemed, it never had the same consequences as the stock market crash. Sure, it sucks to lose money, but it never took out an economy. So this is what they're saying right here. Housing never took out an entire economy, but this is what it's looking at because our entire real estate market is tied to the economy of the country. Consequently, not a lot of cutting-edge research went into trying to figure this out until the U.S. housing bubble when it blew in 2008. It triggered a Great Recession, basically a real estate crash that took out the world's largest economy. So, I want to go here. How to read exuberance. You guys can figure that out. There it is right there. Exuberance for Canadian real estate. It's nuts. This should be the 09-ish. There you go, first quarter 09. This should be 08 over here. As it went down to 2007, 2008. And it starts sparking back up. And we're going back to that very danger zone. Canadian, and remember, this is all a whole. So if they were actually taking just specific cities and putting them in the exuberance level, I think you'd have a huge different outlook on that. Canadian real estate exuberance in the late 1980s. In the late 1980s, we see a spike, but it doesn't hit the critical values. That's because prices didn't spike across the country. If you're from Toronto and you're old enough, you might remember the crash. Actually, people talk about it still today. If you're from the city like Vancouver, Calgary, it was barely a blip on the radar. Most losses were realized in the Greater Toronto markets. This is why we see a spike. But it doesn't rise above the critical threshold. Canadian real estate exuberance from 2003-2008. So this is breaking down our basically roller coaster ride. Canadian real estate exuberance today. Now, I want to show this to you guys. So let's read this real quick here. That brings us to a current cycle in the first quarter of 2015. The exuberance indicator goes beyond the critical threshold and continues to today. Over this period, cities like Vancouver saw prices rise 59%. Toronto rose to a peak of 55% before falling 43% today. Even with the slight pullback, the country's whole real estate market remains detached and fundamentals according to these indicators. Pavlitz of Dallas Fed would require a massive surge in income or decline in price correction. So people need to get paid more money to be able to afford. So look at this. See the notes right there? If you take a look at that, you can see what I'm talking about. So the red, just Canada. Australia is definitely right behind. There's New Zealand right behind that. There's parts of the interior of Europe. Luckily, Portugal's not being touched with this because I want a place to retire. And that's just the more article to read there if you guys want to get into it. But I just wanted to put this out there. Look, South Africa. It's basically every English-speaking country is being hit with this. Japan is being hit too. If you look here, Japan is also another one that's in that bubble. Luckily, I'm so lucky. I just hope Portugal just stays at the way it's at. Everyone thinks it's, you know, nothing special to see there. Keep up the good work. Because like I said, I want a place for me and my kids to, for me to retire with my family, right? Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this. The feds are taking note of this. And so basically, it's like this. It's how everyone's doing it. So let's just jump on the bandwagon. And that's known to be very common in specific cultures. You have a lot of cultures that follow that stream. You know what I'm saying? Where everyone's doing it. Let's do it! You're missing out! Why aren't you buying Vancouver real estate? Everybody get in! They have these big seminars where all these people show up and they have these big meetings and the money and place to invest is in Vancouver. I had a friend, I know I told this story about 2 years ago, a friend that went to this money-making, investing thing. He goes to these seminars all the time. But they didn't say it was housing. So he flew all the way from Denver into... he flew from Vancouver to Denver for the seminar. Got there, and this, wow, this is going to be good. Maybe they'll teach us about stock markets, different markets. The whole entire seminar was about investing in Vancouver property. And he's like, I came here for this from Vancouver. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Don't forget to follow my Living the Dream series. Season 1, Episode 1's up. Season 2 is going to go up next Monday. Season 1, Episode 2 is going to go up next Monday. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I'd like to know your feedback. Thanks for watching.